Hey everyone, I'm Liam, and welcome back to the Cine Review Hub channel. As always, we're here for our weekly roundup of the latest in cinema, from celebrity scandals to upcoming movie releases. This past week, the big news was that the Fantastic Four movie managed to beat Superman, putting Marvel ahead of DC at the box office. In its third week of release, Superman made $90 million globally, bringing its total to $500 million, which makes it the highest-grossing Superman movie in history. But then, the Fantastic Four came along and beat it in just 3 days, making $218 million in its opening weekend alone. The movie's budget was $200 million, and with marketing costs, it's expected to need to make around $500 million to be profitable, which many experts believe it will. But something even more interesting happened last week that got more attention on social media than the movie itself: the scandals surrounding the film's star, Pedro Pascal. You've probably seen it. For about 6 months, whenever the Fantastic Four cast appeared at Comic-Con, Pedro Pascal was constantly asking Vanessa Kirby to hold his hand. When the media asked him why, he said he has social anxiety, and holding someone's hand calms him down. Pedro Pascal kept doing this so much over the past few days that a lot of people are saying it was all a publicity stunt, because Scarlett Johansson did the exact same thing, constantly kissing her co-star on the Jurassic Park red carpet to create a buzz and make the movie trend. The Superman movie tried a similar trick, but it seems like the Fantastic Four cast took it too far, which led to a wave of ridicule and criticism on social media. People started making tons of memes about Pedro Pascal. For example, they'd post a picture of Vanessa Kirby with her husband, then show Pedro Pascal's face and say, "When social anxiety kicks in, but her husband is right there." Or they'd show that actor from Breaking Bad on the red carpet doing his thing and say, "When Pedro Pascal has social anxiety on the red carpet." People also joked about him never having social anxiety next to Bella Ramsey or other men. A lot of critics came out and said this behavior could make other actors uncomfortable. Willem Dafoe, for instance, a Hollywood star in his own right, was reportedly upset that Pedro Pascal had social anxiety next to his wife. Some experts even speculate that this wave of criticism is another publicity stunt, and Marvel might have created a cyber army to generate these memes and keep the film trending. Another joke on social media was that since Pedro Pascal is so good-looking, feminists don't bother him, but if it were another man, he'd be under attack. We'll have to wait and see how people react to Pedro Pascal once the movie buzz dies down. Will he change his behavior? On another note, we have a few pieces of news from the Marvel Universe. Men's Health magazine published a photo of Sacha Baron Cohen, who has completely transformed his body. The photo even made it to the magazine's cover. This is because he is set to play Mephisto, and after 2027, he will become the main supervillain of the Marvel Universe, so he's already getting ready. Another piece of news that worried some Marvel fans was a new interview with Rebecca Romijn. If you've seen the old X-Men movies, you know she played Mystique. Now she's back in the role for Avengers Doomsday. In her new interview, she said she still doesn't know if her filming is finished because the script isn't complete. They'll write a part of the script, call her to come back and film. Then when she's done and goes home, they'll write another part and call her back again. Read aloud in a warm and friendly tone. This could mean the movie might not be finished by its announced 2027 release date, which could lead to delays, a massive budget, and a messy final film. For our next news segment, let's talk about some new movies and series, especially some important news for video game fans. As you might have guessed, Amazon was at the top of the news, announcing a new series based on the video game Wolfenstein. The game is really old, with various versions released since the 1980s. The story is about what would have happened if the Nazis had won World War II and Germany became a global superpower in the 21st century. The version they will likely base the movie on is the one from 2017, where the United States is completely occupied and a hero tries to rally a group of fighters to resist. The important thing is that the Germans have incredibly strange technologies, including some supernatural elements that will wow viewers. The story is also very violent, so if Amazon makes it, it could be as gritty and imaginative as The Boys. They said the style will be inspired by Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds. The game had a bold story and strong dialogue, and it won a lot of awards. If Amazon does a good job, we could have a great series on our hands. Another series with new information is God of War. They announced that filming will begin in 2026 and the series will probably be released in 2027. The series will have 10 episodes and will be set during the Norse era, with the main focus on Kratos and his son. An important detail for fans is that the original game director will be involved in the series' production. Even more interesting, the second season has already been greenlit, and the scripts for both seasons are being written simultaneously, which means they might film some of Season 2 at the same time as Season 1 to shorten the gap between seasons. Amazon also announced that the casting process will be the last thing to be revealed, so we probably won't know who the actors are until early 2026. More video game news is about the Elden Ring movie, directed by Alex Garland and produced by A24. The only new update is that Kaylee Spaney has joined the cast and will appear alongside Kit Connor. Now for some big news about an upcoming movie, James Cameron's latest film, Avatar: Fire and Ash. The first trailer was released last week, and the film's image was even on the cover of Empire magazine. This installment story is about Jake Sully, who is no longer seeking peace and wants to fight humans. So he goes to a clan called the Ash and Wind, who represent the worst aspects of the Na'vi people. After their civilization was destroyed by a volcanic eruption, they are now an angry people who can control fire. So what's so special about this? James Cameron is more of an innovator than just a director. For the first film, he developed stop-motion technology. For the second, he took that technology underwater, a process that took 14 years. Now, for the third film, he's tackling fire, which is incredibly difficult to do with special effects, but James Cameron is going to do it in this Avatar movie. The film's budget is $250 million, and it's scheduled to be released on December 17th of this year. James Cameron also said some interesting things. He wants to expand the Avatar cinematic universe and wants to create an animated series similar to the Animatrix that the Wachowskis made for the Minitrix universe. He wants it to be an anthology with lots of short, standalone stories.
James Cameron is 70 years old now, and he said he will definitely direct parts 5 and 6 of Avatar and is ready for the job. Of course, everyone knows why he said this, because it's in people's minds that someone else might direct those films. In his interview, James Cameron also said that since Titanic, no story has excited him as much as the book The Ghost of Hiroshima, and he is looking forward to turning it into a movie. So, if he puts his time into that, someone else will probably direct Avatar. Some other news about new movies and series is about the new series from the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. The show is called Pluribus and is a psychological sci-fi series. The story is really interesting. It's about the unluckiest person in the world who has to try to stop a wave of happiness from taking over the world, or else Earth will be destroyed. The important thing is that Apple TV is producing the series, and the company has announced that the special effects are very heavy. The series is planned to begin airing in October, and it has already been renewed for a second season, with both seasons having 9 episodes. We'll have to see if the director can maintain his peak form and create another classic series. More news about new films concerns 2 movies starring Elle Fanning. This actress is definitely a star we'll be hearing more about in the future. She's very busy and acting in a lot of films. One of them is Badlands from the Predator series, for which a new trailer was released last week. She was also at Comic-Con, and the photos she took at the event went viral. The Predator movie is set to be released in November. The other film she has more information about from last week is a new project where she she co-stars with her sister, Dakota Fanning. The film is called Nightingale, and it tells the story of two sisters fighting for survival in occupied France during World War II. This one is scheduled for release in 2027. As for new animated films and series, there was a lot of news. First up is Shrek. Last week we mentioned that after Shrek is released, they'll also make a third Puss in Boots movie. Now, a newer piece of news is that they are going to make another spin-off centered on the character of Donkey. The story is already weird, with Donkey, his dragon wife, and their half-donkey, half-dragon hybrid child. And the cool thing is, it's set to come out pretty soon, in 2027. Paramount also announced that they're going to make a sequel to the Avatar animated series. The show is called Seven Heavens and has 26 episodes. It's already been renewed for 2 seasons. It's going to follow 2 twin earthbenders who discover they are the next Avatar. The creator of The Simpsons also had a new interview. When asked when The Simpsons will end, since, they've aired 38 seasons since 1989, the creator said that the animation won't end as long as Trump is alive. Whenever Trump dies, that's when they'll end the story. And he even added a new prediction, that when Trump dies, people will take to the streets and celebrate. More news on new movies is about 2 horror films. The first is Weapons, which made news because it had an early screening for critics. The director is the same person who made the film Barbarian, and his new film received a score of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes and 85 on Metacritic, getting a lot of praise as a horror film. It's set to be released in August. The other horror film that got a lot of attention on social media last week was Together, which stars Dave Franco.
They also caused a scandal on the red carpet with some promotional photos, and because they were influenced by the Pedro Pascal buzz, many people complained that they were going too far, only to find out that the 2 main actors are actually a married couple in real life, so they just took advantage of the red carpet opportunity. Despite its small budget, the movie was also praised, receiving a 100 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 75 on Metacritic. The production company Neon also unveiling new technology at the screening, scanning the critics' eyes and measuring their pupil dilation to see how much they were scared and stressed. They announced that critics were scared and stressed for 86% of the film's runtime. For the next news, let's look at the celebrities who had a lot of scandals this week. First, the 63-year-old Tom Cruise and 37-year-old Ana de Armas. After months of denying their relationship, the 2 of them felt like they were alone on the street for a moment and held hands, and of course, a paparazzo appeared and took a picture. The photo went viral online, and they both officially confirmed their relationship, which got a lot of attention on social media. The interesting thing that happened next was that after the news was confirmed, Ana de Armas stopped joking around and went on social media and liked a picture of Nicole Kidman's face, saying, "This is the real face of celebrities." Nicole Kidman was Tom Cruise's ex-wife, of course, and Ana did this because of that. She was heavily criticized, and even Ana's fan pages started their posts with "We're sorry" when they posted photos of her with Tom Cruise. Why? Because a lot of feminists consider Tom Cruise to be anti-woman. Why do they say that? Because after he divorced his ex-wife Katy Holmes, he put her on a Hollywood blacklist and said he wouldn't work with any company that worked with her. Because of this, Katy Holmes couldn't be in The Dark Knight after Batman Begins and was pretty much forced out of acting. We'll have to see if Ana de Armas can handle Tom Cruise. Another celebrity scandal last week was about Sydney Sweeney, who did a commercial for a pair of jeans. In the ad, she kept saying, "My jeans are the best. I own the best jeans, and my jeans are blue." If you just listen, it doesn't sound weird, but she was attacked by fans of the woke movement. They called the company Nazi and fascist and said their mindset was similar to the Nazis. Why? Because the word jeans was spelled with a G, which could be read as jeans. They took it to mean that Sydney Sweeney was saying, "My jeans are very good," which was seen as a racist comment against black people and other races. Other celebrities, like singers, even came out and directly criticized Sydney Sweeney on social media. Of course, none of the criticism helped. Sales of the jeans went up 10 times after the ad. The company said that all proceeds from that specific style of jeans would go to charity. The advertising team made the biggest profit possible. It's estimated that the jeans have received close to $120 million in free marketing so far. How? Last week, Donald Trump even talked about the jeans. What does Trump have to do with this? The Democrats were furious about Sydney Sweeney's ad, and they went through all of Sydney Sweeney's records to find something wrong. The only thing they found was that she had registered as a staunch Republican during the election. When Donald Trump heard this, he was really happy and said, "Now that I know she's a Republican, I think her ad was great." He was so happy that Sydney Sweeney was a Republican, he wouldn't stop tweeting about it. J.D.
Vance also came to Sydney Sweeney's defense, saying, "Just because someone says Sydney Sweeney is attractive doesn't mean they're a Nazi." He happily told the Democrats to keep on this path, you're only making yourselves look worse. Now, there are rumors that the Democrats are negotiating with film companies to try and diminish Sydney Sweeney's role in Hollywood. The character assassination has already started on social media. For example, people are saying that Sydney Sweeney, who is a Republican and voted for Trump, also defends sexual minorities, and that this is a contradiction that shows she's a hypocrite. A photo even went viral online of a woman of color reacting to a Sydney Sweeney ad that was put up on the street. People also compared the results of this ad to another brand. The company selling the jeans is estimated to have sold 3 million pairs in the last little while, while the brand Jaguar launched a campaign that was completely in line with woke culture and reportedly saw a 97% drop in sales. Of course, there were other reasons for the sales drop, but the marketing campaign was a failure. The Republicans, on the other hand, are supporting her. They reposted a video of Sydney Sweeney shooting a gun from a while ago, praising her for it. You know that Republicans have a traditional mindset in the US, and one of the skills they highly respect is shooting. There was another strange and interesting piece of news about Sydney Sweeney last week. The Sun newspaper announced that since Sydney Sweeney broke up with her fiancé a few months ago, more than 100 wealthy and famous men from all over the world, from the Middle East to East Asia and Hollywood, and even some Manchester United, Arsenal, and Liverpool players have asked her out. How did they ask her out? Many of these men used their power and influence to find Sydney Sweeney's personal address and phone number and sent her gifts and flowers. The interesting thing is that Sydney Sweeney has turned all of them down. Another celebrity scandal was about the last episode of the South Park series. We talked about it last week, how it showed Donald Trump having sex with the devil. This episode had 6 million viewers, making it the most watched season premiere since 1999. It had a 70% increase in viewership compared to the previous season. Deadline reported that the U.S. president was furious after seeing himself in the South Park episode and forced the White House to release a statement. The White House's official statement said that the series is a fourth-rate show in its final days, insignificant, and on the verge of destruction. After this statement, the animators, to get under Trump's skin even more, released some behind-the-scenes images, which went viral on social media again. Another celebrity scandal was about Leonardo DiCaprio, who was really thrown under the bus. He didn't have much to do with it. An Israeli news outlet ran a story saying that Leonardo DiCaprio was going to build a luxury 365-room hotel in Tel Aviv. It's supposed to be completely luxurious and very expensive. So why is this news important for Israelis? Because it shows that Israel is a safe, tourist-friendly country and that foreign investors are interested in investing there. But the news was misleading. Leonardo DiCaprio had only bought a 10% share in the project back in 2018. Since then, the project hasn't even started. DiCaprio only invested, but the Israeli media just covered the story now, which has caused him to be randomly attacked for 7 years later for wanting to do this.
Another celebrity scandal. Justin Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada, was seen at a dinner with Katy Perry. You know Katy Perry used to be married to Orlando Bloom, and they even had a child before they separated a while ago. Now they're both single. Once Orlando Bloom was seen with Sweeney, and now Katy Perry has been seen with Justin Trudeau. The next night, Justin Trudeau went to Katy Perry's concert, and the two of them still haven't made their relationship public. Another short news item from the world of celebrity relationships last week was about Liam Neeson. He lost his wife in 2009 and had been single for 16 years. Liam Neeson's wife died suddenly from a brain hemorrhage after a skiing accident, and the actor remained single until he was 73. Now he's starring in his new movie Naked Gun, and it seems he started a relationship with his co-star, Pamela Anderson. Of course, it's also a guess that this might just be a publicity stunt to promote their film. Another short piece of news from the personal lives of actors last week was that Chris Evans himself announced on social media that his wife is pregnant, and they're waiting for their first child to be born. So Chris Evans will become a father soon. For our next news, let's take a quick look at the box office. Aside from the competition between the Fantastic Four and Superman, Jurassic Park took the third spot, making another $72 million last week, bringing its total to $719 million, which is an amazing sales figure. The fourth spot is in a similar situation, with the F1 movie making another $50 million last week, bringing its total to $512 million. Experts guessed that it would probably finish its box office run before reaching $600 million. It's been very profitable, which gives hope that movies with original screenplays can also be blockbusters. Finally, for the last piece of news, the most toxic story of the week is about Harry Styles. This actor has no shortage of scandals in his life. A while ago, he launched a brand selling nail polish, and since he wears nail polish himself, he would say, "Why are you bothering me? Men wear nail polish, and there's nothing wrong with a man having a nail polish line." But last week, he did something super toxic. He added a line of sexual wellness products to his brand, but only for women. Part of the toxic story is the ridiculous price of these products. I mean, what's the difference if Harry Styles produced them? But what makes it even more toxic is that these products, with their ridiculous price tag, sold out completely in just 7 minutes, and the company's warehouses were totally empty. People on social media joked that it seems like if a celebrity produces such a product, it makes it more pleasurable. Okay friends, that's it for today's video. I hope you found it interesting. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Until next week's video, goodbye!